Hey guys, what's going on? Welcome to the Master on Tech channel, where today we're going to be checking out something extra special. Acemagic sent over one of their laptops to me, the ax15, and we'll be seeing what all it can do, what kind of performance it has, what's underneath the hood, and again, what all this thing can perform at a price point of about $350. Depending on when you get it, there is usually a coupon that comes with it. It could be right at $300 or just a little bit above. It just varies with the coupons that are always there. So if it's not there, just give it some time. Also, if you have one of those price trackers, you can also check that to see. But without further ado, let's go ahead and check it out and let's get it out of the box. All right, so Acemagic, love their stuff. They've been sending over a couple of things, so let's go ahead and check out one of their first attempts at a laptop. This is a 15-inch laptop, pretty standard. Packaging itself, nice cardboard box, minimalistic. We do have here on the back what it comes with. We do have the 16 gig model with 512 SSD. That's a NVMe drive that's going to be in that. Now, of course, as you can probably guess, it's nothing that you'll probably recognize as far as the brands go, but we'll dive a little bit deeper into that when we get under the hood. First, let's get this guy out of the box. Cardboard is super stiff, and so that is actually really good, and I love the custom packaging that they have in here. It's not eco-friendly, but it is super sturdy. This really high-density foam. This thing could be dropped from any height just about and will survive. So again, really good, especially in this box. We go ahead and take these foam pieces off. The middle one can be tricky, and it's really, really snug. And it's in this nice sleeve, which again only further helps protect it against scuffs and scratches. Inside the box, we have the user manual in its own little plastic bag. And you have an extra little box off to the side, which will have the power cord in it. But first, we want to go ahead and check out this manual. First off, it's not a roadmap, so it gets a first plus point for me. We do have the table of contents here, and it does come in a multitude of languages. And this just gives you the overview, tells you what comes in the package itself. Of course, you'll have the laptop, charger, and user manual, and of course the product itself. Really love the diagrams they have and these little drawings. Again, really high quality, and showing you just exactly what everything is. Now, you may not need that, but some people might. Then again, it tells you in super detail what everything does. But again, it's not too ugly, it's not too overcrowded. So again, another point for the manual. Now inside the box, you do just have your single charger. This is a USB-C charger block. So theoretically, you could charge this with anything that is USB-C. If you have a battery backup and it has enough juice, it could technically power the laptop. All right, now we'll go ahead and get it out of this really nice sleeve. And you can check down here on the bottom. Super clean. This is supposed to be an aluminum casing. The bottom is really nice. We do have the specs down below, which is the 16 gigs of RAM and 512 gigs for the storage. Of course, if you have any questions or anything about the laptop before you get too deep into it, there is lovely QR codes and warnings here. And so if you need any help, they do have a WhatsApp customer service. Now, it does have a nice new Intel sticker on it. It's nothing too crazy. It's that N95 chip. It's nothing too fancy. It's a 4-core, 4-thread. It is a 15-watt chip. The base frequency of 1.7 gigahertz, up to 3.4. But again, nothing too crazy as far as, it is still 4 cores and 4 threads. As far as the keyboard goes, you do have a lot of media keys up at the top. One of my favorite features is it does have the numpad, which is kind of nice for a computer of this size. And one thing I did notice is if you see that I'm pushing down, it's not super noticeable on camera, but it is flexing quite a bit. Now, that also comes with how large the keyboard is. Obviously, the wider it is, they don't use a lot. You can see that it is just squishing down. As far as the typing goes, again, not bad for 300 bucks. And, you know, there is no backlit to this. It is just screen printed on here. So user mileage may vary as far as how long that will last. The screen itself is an IPS screen. It is matte, so you don't have to worry about the annoying glare. The trackpad is also really large comparatively. And so as you can see, compared to my hand, it is pretty massive. And, you know, we've come a long way from some of those tiny, tiny little trackpads. To click on it, too bad. It does click fairly decent just about anywhere, but obviously it does have that flex still with it. The keyboard has. I feel like if they wanted to tweak the design, maybe they could add a couple more screws or standoffs underneath there to kind of stabilize everything. And now we're going to get into the fun part. We're going to go ahead and take my Wow Stick, little electric screwdriver, and we are going to go ahead and remove all these screws. And we're going to see exactly what's underneath this thing and what we're working with. Now it's time for the money shot. This is all the guts and the insides. Now, as we can see, we do have that one stick of RAM. Not exactly what I'd call great. You know, dual channel would be awesome. But, you know, it is just one good stick, one 16 gig. And we do have the SSD that's off to the side. And we do have the battery, which is a 5,000 milliamp battery, which is not too bad. We have the speakers off to the side. We have the little I/O board off to the side that has the extra USBs and SD slot and everything. The cooler is surprisingly large for what I would expect in here for such a low wattage, lightweight chip that it is, but hey, that's only going to mean really good cooling. Lastly, we do have that wireless chip that is right there next to the cooler. Again, nothing too fancy here. Never really heard of FN Link, but I will say it does connect to the internet, so we're rocking good. And again, brands, you've never seen these. CYX for the SSD. I mean, nothing too bad. And then, you know, it is DDR4 RAM, but again, not exactly a brand you've recognized. And so far, the speeds that I was able to witness with this SSD is not too bad. You know, it is an M.2, so it's not going to be super fast. But we're going to go ahead and check out some benchmarks here, some games that I was able to load up. You know, this thing is a new CPU. It's going to work great. Here's I made a game with zombies in it, a very classic game, if you guys remember from the Xbox 360 days and arcades. If you don't, I would recommend grabbing it. It is free on Steam. It is a super fun game, and it works wonderfully on this laptop. 60 FPS, never drops, and you're able to just shoot zombies away. Side note, also the best soundtrack in any indie game ever. Now let's go ahead and check out another one of my favorites. This is called Ultimate Chicken Horse. It is a party-style game, kind of Mario Party-esque. And you get to basically make it as hard as possible for anybody to get to the goal, and for you to be able to get there first. This game, it did have some variables with its frame rate. At the early stages, easy over 100 FPS. This is, you know, not bad graphics. But of course, the more objects you add, the more it will go down in FPS. Now let's go ahead and check out Brawlhalla. This game plays on anything and everything, phone, PC, you know, anything at all that this thing can run on, it will. This runs 60 FPS, no problem, all day. Just any and all. But of course, what do you expect? This game can run on any mobile device just about, so I would assume it can play on an Intel CPU just fine. And now probably one of the hardest games that it ran, but not hard by any stretch of the imagination, BattleBits. You know, if you haven't heard of BattleBits, it's basically Battlefield and Roblox had a baby, and this is what you got. It was running a solid 60 FPS, and this is on potato graphics, by the way. So this is going lowest possible. And again, 60, 70, depending on where you are in the map. It depends what map. Some run better than others. I did see it as low as 38 FPS. But again, that was a very high trafficked area with 40, 50 players in one specific location, grenades going off. So again, your mileage may vary depending on the map or where you are, but the fact that you can still play a very active FPS game is amazing. So overall, the laptop's not too bad. Battery could be bigger, in my opinion. I think that would be one of my biggest things if I could give them a critique to upgrade, would be adding a bigger battery, because even though it did last a couple of hours on battery, I think with a laptop as low as a 15-watt CPU, it probably should be able to last a whole lot longer, especially being only a 4-core 4-thread CPU. Now, that might be their choice of using an Intel versus an AMD. Maybe we could see an AMD model of this, and it would be able to get better performance, but definitely a slightly larger battery, I think, would be great to go alongside that. Secondarily, this is $300. If you do want to pick it up, I would definitely recommend maybe grabbing a single stick of 16 gig of RAM and a brand name SSD to go into that, just for reliability reasons. You know, I don't really know how long these will last, and it'll take me quite a while to see that. So even though the speeds look great and everything looks fine out of the box, definitely upgrading those would give a little bit extra security, and considering the prices of SSD and RAM right now, might be only another $100 and you should be in the same ballpark. So overall, I think this is a great pickup, especially for if you can get it as low as $300. It's not a bad laptop. It's definitely something that if this is a first laptop, or if you just need something to browse, but also want a little bit more horsepower that can also still play some games, you know, it's not a Chromebook, I would definitely recommend picking this up. Link for it will be in the description if you want to check it out. Of course, clicking that and purchasing it or anything else will help the channel out. That would be much appreciated. Of course, if you have any questions about the laptop, or if you want to see some potential future benchmarks that maybe I didn't cover in here for some other games, or maybe some programs, but just keep in mind, 4-core, 4 threads. You know, your expectations do need to be within line with that. Aside from that, feel free to hit the like and subscribe button if you haven't already. Definitely would be much appreciated. We got some more tech coming your way. And until next time, guys, I will see you guys around.